have a layout for you for day 13 of the 30 days of off the board that we're doing for the month of July. I just showed you the layout that I'm going to be scrap lifting. It's actually a layout that was created by Jenn Smith, and I kind of chose it because I wanted to use this collection, which is the Hillside Cottage collection from Close to My Heart, and I got it from her. So I figured that would be the perfect kind of combination of using this collection and also scrap lifting her. So my Pinterest details are down below with the link if you want to go ahead and check out all of my different boards. And that's basically what we're doing all month long is we're checking out our boards, looking for some inspiration, something that sparks a little bit of creativity, and then we're using that to create layouts and projects and kind of get some of those pins all used up. So all of the links to everybody that is playing along all month long are down below, as well as anybody who's kind of popping in and out throughout the month whenever they can, and the Instagrammers who are playing along there as well. So definitely go and check all of those out. There's tons and tons of inspiration this month. So like I said, this is the Hillside Cottage collection from Close to My Heart. I have the paper pack with the stickers, and I think you're going to see every single paper. I did do an unboxing if you want to see the full collection and flip through all of the papers without me cutting them apart first, but you do actually see all of the papers. So there's that gorgeous yellow floral with the black on the other side. And then the green paper that I'm using as my background has blue on the other side. And then there is a pink, pretty kind of pink paper with little white flowers. And then sort of like the red and white checked picnic blanket, I guess you could say, that type of pattern, that gingham pattern is on the back of that, and you get 2 pieces of each, and so it's just this perfect cute little kit. And then you get the sticker sheet, and I can usually get 2 or 3 different layouts, sometimes even more if I create a layout at the end with a bunch of the scraps that I have left over, but I usually get 2 or 3 out of each of these sort of smaller 6-page kits with the stickers, and they're kind of fun to play with. So I love getting my little happy mail from Jenn and using up all of these collections. So I loved in the inspiration piece that she took the wood and kind of distressed it and made it look like wood planks in behind her photo, and it's just this like beautiful kind of beachy layout. But this collection actually has a wood grain feel to it. It has that kind of, cute outdoorsy cottage feel. But when you take a closer look at each of the papers, there is a slight wood grain to each of them. So I kind of used that as my link when I saw the picture of the layout that I'm scrap lifting. I kind of was reminded of the wood grain here and thought that I could replicate those wood planks a little bit, but just have them as the repeating pattern paper. So I started by just roughly measuring in between the flower elements that are on that background paper, and then just cut my yellow paper into strips. I did think originally I would just do yellow strips the whole way across and kind of make those look like wood planks, but I actually really like the way that the black gives this sort of pop of intense color, and so I decided to alternate them, and I basically just took my scissors exactly like you saw and open them up and kind of rub back and forth and distress the edges so that they look really worn. I like this technique better than if I was ripping them, because I still wanted them all to be the 1 inch, and if I had ripped them, I would have made a mistake somewhere and ripped the paper where I didn't want it to be ripped. You could, if you don't want to use scissors, you could just take a ruler and use it as your straight edge and tear the paper that way, and you would kind of get that messy edge to it if you wanted. Or there are obviously tools, and I do have one somewhere. I don't know where I put it, but there are tools that you can use that help you to distress your paper. But you can see here I'm using just these little, they're actually from Dollar Tree, these little scissors. So they're not the most sharp and they do make a bit of a mess, but you just kind of rub them back and forth. And I'm okay where the paper was tearing and ripping a little bit. That was totally fine with me because it kind of added to the look of wood planks, especially on my strips of paper. And if you look back at Jenn's original layout, you'll see that she's got uneven boards and little notches and bumps and things like that in her strips of paper. And then she's also used some ink to kind of darken the edges, go around the edges, and just make those strips of paper look very realistic, like planks of driftwood or planks of wood. So I had thought of maybe doing the same thing and taking some ink and just inking my edges, but I couldn't really decide what color I wanted. I did test, if you look on the left-hand side there, I have one little strip of yellow. I tested some black ink on it. I didn't think any other color of ink would really show up on the black strips, but I guess in hindsight, you don't actually see that much of them, so it probably wouldn't have been a big issue, but I thought, I could try some black ink, and I didn't really like it. And I think that the white core kind of looks really nice because the little details in the florals of the background paper are white. So I kind of like the white core. It's hard to see in the camera, but when you look at it in person, you can actually see the white edges of the paper. So I just left it, but depending on what you're doing, you could ink it with just about any color you wanted to kind of pop the roughened edges and really kind of highlight that. But I like the white. I think it turned out really pretty. And then I decided just to be very simple with my embellishments and go ahead and use that big sticker that says "We Are Family." It just makes the perfect title for this picture, which is the World Adoption Day picture that we took in 2020. This was actually right before we ended up being placed with our other little guy. So it was sort of our last family picture of 5. So the title works out really good. And I just kind of like the size. It just seemed to match everything. It was a good scale. And I took a couple of the little flower stickers that were also on the sticker sheet and have them just kind of popping out from the top. And then I added a label up at the top that says "Forever in My Heart" and some other little flowers up there too. And that's about it. I have these little clusters with pink hearts from the sticker sheet and some wood veneer hearts from my stash, and those teeny tiny little gold sequin hearts also from my stash. That is a pack that just keeps on giving. I have had those for so many years, and I feel like I never put a dent in them. I love them so much. I couldn't even tell you where I got them from. But anyways, and then to finish everything off, Jenn's layout has some little dash marks all around the outside. So I went ahead and did the same thing. And then I also added some sketchy lines into all the other pattern papers and just kind of highlighted them a little bit and helped them to stand out from the busyness of that central cluster. And then I splattered with some Heidi Swap Color Shine in Gold. And that is it. That's my layout for day 13. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. If you have any questions for me, you can leave them down below in the comments. Jenn's links are also down below if you have any close to my heart questions or want to check out what they've got available. And I will be back tomorrow for day 14. So until then, happy scrapping. Bye.